is Evans Jenga. I'm an artist at Kuona Artist Collective. I'm a self-taught painter. I mostly customize clothing, shoes, jackets, trousers. I also do paintings. But when it comes to clothing, I mostly concentrate on second-hand clothing because I feel like we have a lot of untapped potential in used clothing, and in the Agenda 2030, we know we have to look at the fact that it's there because we're using a lot of clothing. Like we're producing clothing every day, and recycling clothing is actually very important. So I've focused on that. It's environmental friendly as compared to producing clothes every week. I'd rather go to Gikomba and I produce clothes from scratch, yes, but I mostly concentrate on thrifted clothing. Yeah. When I was in campus, I think my third or fourth year, I discovered that there's not enough opportunities for like young people like me, because I did travel and tourism, and the sector that I was studying was a bit saturated in terms of employment, because you find that people in their 50s are still working, people in their 60s they're still physically fit. So getting employment in such a sector was a bit hard. So I decided to do something different, something that I knew I had in me. So when I was in primary school, I did a competition ya Kiwi. My dad was coming from the bathroom one day, nikamwonyesha, and he told me, even si umetrace. And after he told me that, I went and put down my sister's name, like on the paper, your submission, and she won. Like countrywide, she was, I think, the second best. So after your time, like I discovered like I had something in me, and I kept on pushing all through high school as well. And then after I finished campus, I just decided to teach myself how to paint and use it as a business opportunity, and try and tap into like an untapped market, because I felt like art was a very lucrative market, but it wasn't tapped into. So I decided to do that. There are a number of struggles, but for me, mostly what challenges me is like a formal system, because you find like once you've really tapped into your ability and your potential, there's a lot of demand, and having to like supply everyone that demands is kind of hard, because people have to understand that art takes time. And you find like kitu kama clothing, people expect you to produce a piece of clothing like in 2-3 days or maybe a day, but it's a bit hard because you have to take your time with art. But thank God I've been able to keep up with the pressure, and so far so good. Encouragement comes in many ways, but financially, being an artist is you have to like find your ways how to do your stuff. So financially, you have to know how to save kwanza. So because banks might fail you, friends and family might fail you, so you have to have a backup plan for yourself. But support, all my clients support me, so I have repeat clients who come on a monthly basis. Someone spends 15,000 on clothing, and that kind of money on clothing alone is quite a lot. So like my clients really support me a lot.
My name is Passionate Nailante Quiet, or Naila. My friends call me Naila. I'm a fashion designer and a lawyer. So I graduated 2019 from Catholic University, but decided to do fashion as a business and a hobby as well. I love fashion. It's actually a hobby, but to me is something that makes me happy. And something else, after I graduated, I tried to look for jobs, actually maybe in law firms or any other private sector. But considering employment in Kenya is not that stable, so I decided why not do fashion, which is something I love, and it was also making me money. So that's why I decided to go with fashion. Getting jobs, especially with the pandemic, it was actually I was working in a law firm, so things got bad. My employer at the moment, he wasn't paying me. He wasn't making enough money to pay me, which made sense to me. So I decided to go back to fashion. Something else, they pay the whatever remuneration, it's not that good. Let's say, especially right now, I don't have a license, so I cannot be paid equal to an advocate who has a license. And you may find I might be making more money with my fashion or the clothes that I make. First thing, I love fashion, so it's not hard. So every day I have to remind myself it's an empire I'm making, it's my business, it's my baby. So every day I have to wake up knowing that I have a goal, that my fashion or my brand needs to be somewhere in future. And also I don't want to go back to employment, as much as I want to practice law later. But right now I decided to just build on my brand.
My name is David Kimemia, from a family of 6. I'm a third born. I've done IT. That is what I studied in school, but currently my source of living is photography.
David, who said this sama hivi? Kam kabisa.
Having done IT back in 2016, and coming out in Kenya currently, getting a job on IT is really hard, because there is so much. Because I did a diploma. When you go out there, they require 5 years of experience. You need a degree. You need certifications. The journey hasn't been quite good, quite okay. There has been so many ups and downs, but it's a slow progress. So photography, you just don't build something like that. It has to come from scratch. So I'm slowly getting it, but I've had my wins, I've had my losses. So it's a good career, and I'm earning from it, so I wouldn't say it's that bad. In Kenya, being a young person is illegal. I would say that, because when you grow up, first your parents tell you to study. You're not prepared for the world, but when you get out there after finishing school is when you realize that you need connections, there's so much you have to like go through before you get a job in Kenya, and that's why so many people out there are unemployed. But in our generations right now, people are getting more creative. So yeah, this is a generation of creative. So you don't necessarily have to be employed. You can always find work that you're passionate about.
Unemployment is a major problem in Kenya, and it has been a thorn in the flesh, especially to university graduates who invest a lot in employment, only to be frustrated and demoralized once they leave the school and they don't get employment.
Many universities have over time seemingly chose to end the year churning out their pride, going by the number of graduation ceremonies that are conducted annually. While graduation ceremonies give a reason to celebrate, graduates are soon faced with the daunting prospects the outside world has to offer. The most daunting is unemployment, given the number of graduates entering the job market each year. Approximately 30,000 university students graduated in December 2019. The University of Nairobi produced the highest number of graduates, 8,428, while Kabarak University produced the least, 922. Kisii University had 5,110 graduates, while Kenyatta University had more than 6,000 graduates. More than 6,000 students graduated at Moi University. In June, 3,545 students graduated from the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, adding to thousands of others from smaller universities. 39% of Kenya's youth are unemployed, according to census data, further widening the gulf between the rich and the poor. A staggering 4 million youths who are qualified for work in the Kenyan market are unemployed, as revealed by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics in April 2020. The report further indicates that the youth aged between 20 and 34 made the highest number of those out of the job market.
Main causes of unemployment in our country, one is corruption, which has denied many deserving Kenyans opportunities to have employment. The second one is our education system. Our education system should respond to the market needs so that university students should stay relevant and hence get employment. The third one is the high population which we have in Kenya. So they have so many people, but the number of employments are few. And the fourth one is the slow economic growth. There are quite a number of things we can do to reduce the number of unemployment in Kenya. One being early retirement. Anyone who is above 55 should be given early retirement to create employment for the young graduates and the other unemployment youth in the country. The second one is to align education curriculum in line with the demand of the market, which is paramount. The third one is to reduce migration. We have enough graduates who are up to the task of the jobs required here in Kenya. But you find that most of the times we are getting supply of jobs from other countries. So we need to reduce the migration of job seekers. And the fourth one is work sharing. We can share work. We have 2 or 3 employees sharing work, and with that we reduce unemployment in Kenya. No one in specific should be blamed for unemployment in Kenya because it is a collective thing. It is the work of the whole society to work on it, because we can't blame the government. The government have done a few things to create jobs, But you find that people don't want to work simply because of the way they have been brought up. They just see my parents, they have all this investment. Why am I working? They will soon die and inherit their property. So it is a collective responsibility of all of us, and no one should be blamed. We should blame all of us.
So many young people are talented, especially not in the both professional and, would I call it, artists. I mean, they are DJs, they are fashion designers, they are rappers, etc. But I feel the government hasn't come through for young people, especially initiatives that support artists. I don't see that. So I think the government should come up with more initiatives that will support the youth, not just in employment, but in skills that they can grow. Let's say funding, they can fund the youth in, let's say, artists in whatever forum. So they can be, let's say, a kitty for artists that maybe youths can borrow, etc., to work on their program.
There's a fund called the Youth Fund. It was a good idea, but the funds were misplaced first. They have to account for things, and me, I would say they just need to give us a platform to express ourselves. And there are too many regulations limiting, especially art. So I would say they would abolish some regulations and empower the youth.
What I'd tell them is to always trust in yourself, and there's kuna ile gut feeling. Always trust that, but also work hard, because I taught myself how to paint. I didn't go to school to learn what I do. Most people who've gone to school come and tell me to teach them what I do, because they feel like school has wasted them, but practice is important.
Right now, I think the world is so competitive on jobs. So I think if you have a skill, you should work on it as early as you realize it. Because one thing, if you have passion, it's going to be easy to make or do whatever you want to do. And you can actually do that while making money and also looking for jobs. I'm not saying don't look for a job or don't go to school. You can go to school, but at least have a skill that is going to make money for you.
For me, I'm a self-taught photographer. So I'm a student on YouTube. So there's too much you can learn out there. There are people who are doing writing, which they didn't even study in school, and they're making good money. So don't give up. And if maybe you've started a business and it's not doing well, just hold on, because you don't build a business in one day. It's going to take time. Trust the process.
Put God first in everything. I might look the way I look, but at the end of the day, I know when I go home, before I go to bed, I kneel down and I pray and I thank God for even the God-given talent. I might not make sales hiyo siku, but just me being okay, mkono yangu iko sawa, So always put God first.
There should not be job seekers, but job creators. The university graduates, they focus on being employed and getting the white-collar jobs. We need to tell them from the university level that you don't need to be a job seeker, you can be a job creator, and create that mentality to them that once you go through education, university education, it's not a guarantee that you get employed. You can employ people.